Hello! In this new year that is already proving to be bananas, I'm leaning into comfort, I'm leaning into nostalgia, and I have created a list of 10 TBR books for myself that are all big, cozy, comfy nostalgia reads. When I was a teenager, I loved reading YA romance and historical fiction and all sorts of things, but these are all sort of leaning into the YA, adolescence, self-discovery, first romances, friendships, family dynamics, all that good stuff. So here's my list. Starting off with an absolute banger, Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. My introduction to this was via, of course, the 2008 film starring the Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Who are those fittings? They're well beyond fit, they're lush.
Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, and it was my introduction to British culture, British humor, slang, all that good stuff. In fact, one of my favorite parts of these books is in the back. There is always a little glossary, George's Glossary, which is just a dictionary of British slang. Highly recommend. Next, we have, of course, Pretty Little Liars. These books are diabolical. The TV show is diabolical. Everything is crazy. These are insane cuckoo bonks, and I love them. I love every single bit. The book follows 4 characters as their queen bee leader, Alison de Laurentiis, who is just a heinous little lady.
You don't exist without me.
Goes missing, and they start to receive texts and messages from an anonymous person named A who knows all of their secrets, including ones they thought only Allison knew. If you've seen the TV series, you know this is insane. I have not revisited these books in a long time, and I'm very excited to see how they hold up, as well as see what the differences were between the books and the TV show, because I don't remember a lot of the original source material. Next, we have Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. Now, I do have a few Sarah Dessen books on this list, more than one. Sorry. I loved Sarah Dessen. She was my introduction to contemporary romance, and she leans heavy into the dramatic, she leans heavy into the traumatic, the family dynamics, the mental health, the romance, all of the things. This book in particular follows a girl named Annabelle. I'll read you the blurb. Annabelle Green is the girl who has everything. At least that's what she portrays in her modeling shoots. But Annabelle's life is far from perfect. Her friendship with Sophie ends bitterly, and her older sister's eating disorder is weighing down the entire family. Isolated and ostracized at home, Annabelle retreats into silent acceptance. Then she meets Owen, intense, music-obsessed, and determined to always tell the truth. Ooh! And with his guidance, Annabelle learns to just listen to herself and gains the courage to speak honestly. But will she be able to tell everyone what really happened the night she and Sophie stopped being friends? So much self-discovery, girlhood, friendships, complex families, summer flings, romances. I love Sarah Dessen books. The rest of my books are on my Kindle, and the next 1, 2, 3 are all Sarah Dessen books, and I won't deep dive on all of them. But again, they all leave very heavy-handed into, whether it's a summer break or moving somewhere new, complicated families, a quick little fling that contributes to the self-discovery and self-actualization, girlhood, friendship. It's fantastic. Those next 3 books are Keeping the Moon, Along for the Ride, and What Happened to Goodbye. I have not read any of these since I was probably 13, 14 years old, so excited to revisit. Next on the list is Gossip Girl, which I never actually read the Gossip Girl books. I am a major fan of the TV series from the CW, however.
XOXO.
So I'm excited to visit the source material. The series follows friends Serena and Blair as they navigate life at Constant Billiard School, a very elite university preparatory school in New York City, and their friendships, their romances, their dramas, and apparently the author actually wrote the book based on her own experience at a similar school in Manhattan. And it's based on her experience, her friends' stories, things she observed. So I don't know how realistic all of that is, but I do think it's interesting that it's based on her actual life. This is one of my favorite shows to rewatch when I'm in the mood for something just a little trash, a little crazy. So I hope the book delivers. Next, we have The Click by Lacey Harrison. If you were a kid or a preteen in the late 2000s, I'm sure you saw advertising for this series and the movie everywhere all the time. It follows a group of mean girls and one girl that's sort of on the outs, but she's near them because she's living in the guest house of the ringleader of the mean girls and everything that goes down between them. I don't remember a lot about this book, but I do remember reading so many in the series. I don't even know how many there are in the complete series. I'll look it up and list it here-ish. Next we have Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I actually don't remember a lot about this book, but I do remember reading it in one sitting and saying it was my favorite book for a long time. So I want to see what that was all about. The book follows Samantha Kingston and her experiences after she dies in an accident one night, but wakes up the next morning and relives the same day multiple times in a row, and her realizations about life and things that she would do differently. And yeah, I just want to revisit it and see what I loved. I also heard that there's a movie. Don't know if that's worth watching, but might add that to my list after this. Last but not least, we have Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is one of my favorite books of all time. I love the movies. I love the whole series. I love Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It follows 4 girls. They all go separate ways over the summer, and they have this magical pair of jeans that just happens to fit all of them. And they pass the pants around and document their experiences over the summer. And it is just so sweet. It's so girlhood. It is dramatic and sweet and talks about romance and family dynamics and growing up and fear of the future. And I just love Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I also have a feeling that I'm going to go down a rabbit hole and just end up rereading the whole series after I start the first one. So I'll report back. And that is my nostalgic TBR list. I would love to hear yours. I would love to hear books you've revisited as an adult and what's held up, what has not. I'll report back on my findings once I work through my list. But thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well. Bye.